Okay, everybody, welcome back to a very, very special edition of Deez Sports Nutz Podcast. Get away from my notes, man. Just before we get started, get away from my notes, man.
Watch out now.
You know, this is a competition. We don't play. We've been way too civil on this
I'm
thing.
the collector, man.
The collector. I'm the coach. We are on Deez Sports Nutz Podcast. We're here to talk about the NFL draft. Maybe that's where the energy came from.
Yes.
The abrasiveness, trying to embrace your Hornerstown abrasiveness, not my Glenwood Avenue, Ferndale. We're more congenial. We're not going to say
No,
soft.
I've heard stories about you and Ferndale.
Yeah.
You always want to win, just like I always want to win.
Yes. So it's good. My man's over here looking at my notes. Stay away from me, little Mel Kiper Jr. But we're here to talk about the draft.
I definitely
so
got the Mel Kiper hair. Watch out now.
You do.
Watch out now. I'm going to slick it back.
The SEC. Is it SEC or who?
Somebody's
SEC's
coming
a
in.
conference. Who's the one that checks radio about
FCC?
FCC? My bad.
They're coming in.
Not Nick Saban's not coming.
We're gonna get
the
fined.
FCC's coming. Oh my goodness. But listen, we started to go fund me out there, and then you finally, through your generous contributions, got Josh Miller a haircut. We won't put him on air because we will be shut down. They will raid this place. But my man right here, and this ain't even COVID hair. This is post-COVID hair, man. Come on.
This is chill mode, man.
Yeah.
I just got my schedule was packed full, and I don't just sit in a random chair.
Boy, I just got a text message from Greg Brady, and he saw your hair and said, "Whoa."
Wow.
Yeah, so like you got the hair helmet going on.
Joey
but
Lawrence.
but Las Vegas Thursday night. First of all, before we get into it, what do you feel about this format of the draft? I kind of liked 1, 2, and 3 on a day, and then the rest. What do you think about this Thursday night? I know it's good for TV. I know it's good. You don't get all the guys there. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I like the prime time of it for the first round, but it takes away from the other rounds, I think. And it's like it's so stretched out. Like I don't know how many years they've been doing this, 1 or 2, but yeah. I've never made it to the end because it's just so drawn out. You know, like I hope I make it to the Cardinals pick this year, but it's just drawn out. But it's a spectacle. It's about money, so it's not going to change. But this is where we're at. Round 1 will be Thursday night, Friday night. Then they're right back at it with 2 and 3. And Saturdays 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something here right now, and I can't find it. It's really neat though. A Pennsylvania company is doing the jerseys for the. I'm pretty sure they're a Pennsylvania company. I saw it today, and I cannot find it now. But I'm pretty sure they're definitely a Pennsylvania company. They're doing the jersey. So what they do is, I think they make a nameplate for every jersey from everybody who's going to be at the draft to give them the jersey. So I think there's 21 of the guys going to be there today. And I think they'll take their name and they'll have them pre-done for every team. And then they have 2 minutes to put the name on the jersey. They do it in 60 seconds so they have room for air, and they do 2 of each one. So there'll be 2 Jaguars for all 21 guys, so forth and so on. Thought it was really cool, and they pump it out there. And then but the difference this year is they're going to have a pop-up shop in Vegas where you can get these customized jerseys right on the spot there too. So you can walk away with a Hutchinson jersey and stuff like that. So it was really cool. I was trying to find the name of the company, but I'm pretty sure they're definitely a Pennsylvania company, which I thought was really cool, neat feature. Because I always wondered, how do you have that ready? What do you have ready? I mean, how do you have the hats ready on stuff? I think they're going to snapbacks now. They used to be fitted, so hey, you have to. But again, with money's no object in the NFL, you can have a whole run of hats.
It's all about the show, man.
Yes.
That's cool that it'll be homegrown. Whomever's doing that, it's smart that they're selling them too. That to get ahead of the game, because you're gonna want your guy for your team, whoever he is, the first round pick. 21 guys being there. Not all 21 are getting picked, so they're gonna be there Thursday night. And how many of them are gonna stay to Friday to get into that second round? That'd be tough. I can remember Aaron Rodgers sitting, and sitting,
and they keep shooting the camera back on you too.
And now it's a little different because it's delayed. They don't show you right at the end because they used to show them taking the phone call. Now they don't. Now they pulled away from that so that when he comes out and talks, then they go back. You know what I mean?
So I'm a weirdo. I like when they go to people's houses. So anyways, so what I like to watch, and this is so crazy, and I noticed it a couple times, when you see a guy on a couch at home, and the mom's there, and the girlfriend's there, like I'm looking for the relationship, like between the mom and the kid. I know last year there was one time where the mom pushed the girlfriend out of the picture. Like I always kind of like that stuff. It's kind of the stuff that goes on there. But yeah, just a really neat thing. But here's the question I have for you. So let's go outside of the body collector. You're now Dick Dietz. You're the NFL draft choice. Number 1 pick overall. Okay?
All right.
So I'm going to set the stage for you. Your life dreams have been accomplished. your name gets called, how do you approach Roger Goodell? What are you giving him? You giving him a hug?
No, I'm giving him the dap.
You're just dapping him.
Handshake to dap to shoulder bump.
Man, that's it. Number 1 overall pick.
I'm coming at it. He's going to see me coming. Big, arms open, and he thinks it's a hug, and then I'm going for the...
I'm hugging. Yeah, man. I'm hugging.
And I'm probably crip walking to him, too.
You're playing at Hornerstown Cool.
Yeah, always.
That's totally... This
is just so out of the realm of my...
Yeah, it's totally false.
No.
Yeah. I think there'd probably be some urination that would go involved with that and all kind of other stuff. And, now you're talking... See what I mean? But yeah, I like your flex though. I got you on that. I'm totally going in. I'm hugging him. I'm that guy. But I'm probably ahead of time gonna say I'm not. I'm a hugger though, so that doesn't even work. But I said I'm gonna think it's gonna be different than it is, and I'm definitely gonna be emotional. And they're gonna have to cut the mic off because I'm gonna thank so many people. It's gonna be so annoying and just all over the place and awful. But again, okay. So Dick Dietz is playing it cool, crip walking. Walk it out. All right, so that's what we got. But anyways, going into this draft, let's talk about our teams. Let's start off talking about the Steelers because who wants to talk about the Cardinals other than Jordan? But we'll let the collector do it. Them birdie birds. But let's talk about the Steelers, and let's talk a little bit about what they need. O-line, D-line, obviously, and some cornerback help. And we did have somebody retire. Duck Hodges, right? Oh, I'm sorry, Ben Roethlisberger, not just Duck. Duck's a big loss too, but Ben Roethlisberger, extremely difficult to see him retire after all these years. He retired. You can't ever pick the people you would like to be retired, but what do you think about the quarterback position? Some of the guys you've seen. What do you think will happen? Do you think Pittsburgh takes a quarterback in the first round?
I sure hope not. I don't think that bodes well for Trubisky's confidence. Mm-hmm. I think Trubisky just wants to lock in there. I think he's great for their offense for where they need to move forward. I think they need to address some other spots. For them to get the quarterback that they want, I think they would have to move. I don't see them trading up. That's just not their thing. Our guy Schenk did a little mock draft, and he had Pittsburgh trading into the back end to pick up a quarterback. That would be different because that means you're giving up next year's first to get that fifth-year option. Now, I think a lot of quarterbacks will go at the end of the first round. I don't want to say a lot more will go at the end of the first round than maybe our first-round guys just to get the fifth-year option.
Yeah, my feeling with all of this is that Coach T wants to change us to more of a running style with a mobile quarterback who can escape pressure and also run bootlegs and stuff like that. I look for our guy Freiermuth to be huge. I wanted to say this. With Gentry and him, I see some tight end wing looks. Which allows those guys to be cracking back on stuff, but also sneaking out into the flat. A lot of play action to those guys. I could see Freiermuth really having a bigger role, not only just in the red zone, but on third downs. I think we want to get back to more of a defense-heavy, highest-paid defense, I believe, in the NFL, person by person. So I think we can get more of a defensive team. I don't think we're going to spend the money. I think also it might be a brilliant move by the Steelers brass, who, listen, whether you're a Steeler fan or not, they've always done a nice job of drafting for the most part. We'll leave Jarvis Jones out of this. But when you look at this, I think, with the people overpaying receivers, I think they're going to try to get back to that running style of football and keep bringing young guys in and be able to have formidable guys there, but more importantly, that great offensive line, that great run game, and play great defense. I think they got to see with Ben with limited arm strength and what they could do on games they played great defense. But, we weren't great. As good as that defense appeared on pass situations, we weren't a great run stopping team. I think we've addressed that in the offseason with Miles Jack and that, so I'm pretty excited. I think you're going to see more of that. They seem to be enamored with Desmond Ridder. That's who Schenk had them picking there. He's the fastest quarterback in the draft since Marcus Mariota. He ran a 4.540, so I think they like his upside as well too. Everybody and their brother, most importantly my parents, want Kenny Pickett to get picked. Love Kenny Pickett, love his ability. I think he might be the most pro-ready quarterback, but the question is, what kind of upside does he have?
Yeah, that's it. Kenny Pickett coming in is going to be Kenny Pickett going out.
Yeah.
That's just who he's going to be. But in this day and age, to have a quarterback on a cheaper contract, which rookies are, allows you to spend elsewhere. So that's what boasts his value. I think that he could win now. But Ridder is he's just an amazing athlete. Just none of these guys, I think, are better for you guys than Trubisky is. I think Trubisky was a great pickup. He's perfect for that offense, especially, like you said, running that double tight end, play action. Don't force him to do too much. He's mobile. He's not super fast, but he's mobile, and he can take a hit. And the focus, the few other spots, like, making sure that the line is strengthened and has depth. Make sure that the defensive backfield has depth. I'm never one to say I want the Steelers to succeed, but they have an overall great team. They're close. They're close. I think bringing in I don't want to say wasting a first-round pick, but bringing in a quarterback in the first round is only going to lead to more questions. So if I was a Steeler fan, I'd be rooting for going elsewhere. But we will see.
Yeah, and it seems like, some of the stuff starting to happen here at the end of the draft. They're starting to hit Willis on some things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that that's very fair, but
No,
they always do stuff like that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? And these young men and the stuff they face at the end there. It happened. The Dan Marino rumors, whether you wanted to believe them or not, you ended up in a great place with a great coach in Miami. But how do you feel about these young people and what they're exposed to?
Yeah, it's tough. Just jumping off the board like Aiden Hutchinson, number one on every mock draft forever, and now you got a new guy, Trayvon Walker, jumping to number one. It's just a lot of turmoil and ups and downs, and you got your agent probably telling you one thing, and then you're watching on ESPN and it's another, and you're always going to have the guy that falls, and what's going to come out. I can remember Laramie Tunsil had a video come out the night of the draft of him having a gas mask on, smoking weed, and he falls in the draft. It's a lot of ups and downs for young men. These guys are not seasoned veterans of life. They're young. This is their dream. So no matter what happens, I'm sure they're going to be happy. But some of these guys' expectations are going to be left mighty, mighty short. For whoever was in their ear telling them one thing and it happens to be another. It's a lot of turmoil, good and bad. It's fun to watch, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the mock drafts go a whole bunch of different ways. I see, the ones that I've been seeing that really make sense. They have them going heavy defense and offensive line early. Mm-hmm. Quarterback getting picked, it's by the Saints, Kenny Pickett. Right. I saw, and then one of the ones that I saw. But I'm looking at these quarterbacks, going down the list of the guys. The Steelers have been linked to Sam Howell. They've been linked to Malik Willis. They've been linked lately to, obviously, to Kenny Pickett and Desmond Ridder, we talked about, but also Carson Strong from Nevada, 4,175 yards passing, 36 TDs, nice numbers there as well, too. Looking at all these guys on there, as far as touchdown passes goes, how about Bailey Zapp from Western Kentucky, 62 TDs and 11 picks. So just looking around at those numbers right there. Looking at Kenny had 42, so solid numbers. But yeah, just real interesting who they're going to end up with. But going back to that draft, a lot of people had been talking early on about Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep.
How do you feel about him and now the new guy that you've been talking about from Georgia? Tell us a little bit about that.
So Hutchinson, I've seen so much of the film on him, from the highlights and stuff. It just seemed like, he's going to be the number one pick. He's the number one pick, but. Today I found a card of Trayvon Walker, and I had heard his name recently, so I went on and watched him. He's a beast. Yeah, he is a beast.
Trayvon's a guy from Georgia who runs the 4.4, and famous for that play against Alabama where he ran down the wide receivers. They really like his speed. Not as polished they like him to be yet, but they said he'll definitely be an all-pro when it's all over. Aiden Hutchinson, probably the more polished of the D lineman guys. Definitely had huge numbers. I think he set the Michigan record for sacks, and definitely
it makes sense too. I think it's going to work out best because he's going to go to Detroit too.
Yes.
So he's going to stay in Michigan. Yeah. He's going to be their stalwart. He's going to be their face. Yeah. Their guy, our Michigan kid.
Does anybody sleep? Will anybody sleep in regards to that? You know what I mean? They're going to be so excited that he could stay home.
Yep, definitely. That moves them from taking a quarterback too, which I don't think they would have done. I don't think they because of Goff. But that spot was a spot where people are going to try to trade into. Yeah. If Walker goes one, Detroit don't listen. Detroit takes Hutchinson.
And I heard a stat. I don't know how many years it's been since the quarterback wasn't taken in the top 10, but it doesn't look that way. Some of the guys are looking at here. I'm going to
go. A quarterback will go in the top 10.
You think so?
Yes, I know. I see all the mocks are moving Willis, and a quarterback will go in the top 10, and it will be somebody spending to come up to get.
Well, what will happen is if someone goes early, then the panic will start, and then they'll all go.
Run.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we're looking at Ikwanu. Tackle, North Carolina State. How about that name? Evan Neal, tackle Alabama. Yeah. And then you start getting into some D-backs, with Ahmad Gardner sneaks
He's
in
a
there.
Beast.
He is a beast.
6'3".
Yeah.
Oh, man. Pro defensive back. He's playing immediately and doing great things wherever he goes. He's great.
Yeah, great numbers, great thing. Then they go back to their line with Charles Cross. Then you're back in the D-back again, Kayvon Thibodeau, Drake London.
Yeah, he's actually an edge rusher.
Yes.
Thibodeau.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Yes.
it says like on my
long
notes,
and lean. Almost thought he was a D-back there for a second. I apologize.
On my notes,
yeah.
Khalil Mack.
Yes.
Like definitely rushes like Khalil Mack.
Yeah, then you look at Drake London, who's a wide receiver. Compared, and it's funny that this group that we're working with here, shades of Mike Evans and Dennis Rodman.
Wow,
so he must be a little bit of a wild. Be a little bit of a wild
6'4",
shot.
219. And that's another position too. Wide receiver might not go. When it goes, they run.
Yep.
Same with cornerbacks. When the first cornerback goes, they run. I hope the corner falls because that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what the Cardinals need. Hey, you talked about, hold on, real quick. We talked about the Steelers all that time. We didn't even talk about the Cardinals.
Okay, go ahead.
You want to run through 17 picks? That's crazy. The Cardinals were great. We don't need much. What can I say? No, I'm just kidding. We need help. We need defensive back help.
Needs help first.
Big
he
time.
needs a counselor.
He's fine.
He needs a counselor.
He's fine. He wants a contract. He wants paid. He's small. He gets injured. It's smart. We're about to sign him to the fifth year pickup, and we're going to get him on an extension before the season starts. We're good to go. I see a lot of mocks having us take a wide receiver in the first round. I sure hope not. Receivers can be found elsewhere. We've had a lot of receivers in the back burners that could come up and play for us. There's still some guys out there that are available as veterans. Julio Jones, please, come on. I need a D-back. I would love to get Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is my favorite player in this draft.
Notre Dame safety,
He is a run stopper. Great. He has like the back speed too, from what I've seen. He's just an all-around physical football player that's going to play immediately and help your team. Kyle Hamilton, I'd love to have him right next to Budda Baker. That'd be great.
I can't wait till your heart's broken.
He's not going to make it to us now.
Your heart's going to be broken, and I'm sorry, just like it was when Santonio Holmes toe-tapped in the corner of the end zone for the Super Bowl. One of the greatest days in Steeler history.
That's cool. Steelers are picking 20. Where are the Cardinals picking? 23. That means that we were better last year. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. At the end of the day, all we count is rings. And we're not counting consolation prizes in Pittsburgh.
Wow,
but in Arizona, when things are bad and you live in the desert, I guess you can do that. But going back, since I was so rudely interrupted to talk about these birdies, let's talk. I'm just going down our mock draft here. Derek Stingley Jr., obviously a legacy guy, fantastic football player. What do we got here? Shades of Xavier Howard.
He's a good player.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Now they go the Jets with God bless Jameson Williams from Alabama, or whoever goes to the Jets. One thing for sure, it's going to be a mess. Then now that starts that run on wide receiver, Garrett Wilson. Shades of Odell Beckham Jr. on Red Bull. Gotta love that one.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Okay. The Jets is a mess, but they're like.
I just want to say Jets, Jets.
They're in the mix on a couple names on these guys, these receivers moving. Yeah. The McLaurin's supposed to be holding out.
Yeah, well, they're always in a mix because they're all in to try to be better. Yeah. You can't be any worse. Here's what I'm saying, the new move. I'm hearing a lot of heat now on a couple different things. The first one is I'm hearing a lot of heat on the Packers and Debo now. So Debo's kind of hurt himself because he says he doesn't want to play running back. You know what I mean? And again, there was a big battle about that this morning with this whole Debo Samuel thing. Is that that your longevity is not as far as if you go to running back, but he is only running 6-7 times a game. He's not running at 25-30, but they're saying that might hurt his value a little bit. But again, I think he'll do whatever. The bottom line is he can't do that this year on a 1-year contract because he can get hurt. I think that's the thing. I think once you get him, but I don't know if he's communicated it in the best way.
No. Yeah, it's been a crazy influx of information, true, false, what's real, what's not. Get out of the NFC West. That's all I care about. He is just unstoppable. Beast. DK Metcalf, too. I've heard rumors that he might be moved. Get out of the NFC West because you're not trading him to the Cardinals, so go elsewhere. Hopefully AFC. McLaurin is holding out. Supposedly he's going to want a deal. And you're right, the Jets, this is their move, man.
Yeah.
This is their move. They're going to give up a whole bunch of stuff to get one guy that can't fix an entire team. Yeah. Zach Wilson's a good quarterback. I hope he gets some pieces around him. I hope that they start making some changes because I like Zach Wilson.
And it's crazy. There's no running backs even mentioned. If you want to be a player in this draft, you got to be a quarterback, which is down further than ever.
Yeah.
Obviously, premium on edge rushers, huge premium on cornerbacks, premium on wide receivers. Shows you how the game's changing. Rush the quarterback, catch the ball.
Yep.
Defend the pass with the defensive backs.
Yep.
Crazy how the game's changing.
But
running backs are totally devalued.
They're falling out of the first round, but they're playing immediately.
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor takes over the league.
Yes.
Who's our guy? Who's our running back this year that we had sold the cards on? What was his name?
Brees Love.
No. Brees Hall.
Brees Hall. Not Bryce Love, but Brees Hall.
Brees Hall. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna light the NFL up at least 1 or 2 weeks this year, no matter where he's at. These running backs they're ready to go right now. And now they're not giving guys 30 carries a game anymore. Mm-hmm. So when you get a guy in the 3rd, 4th round, you never know, man. He could be an all-pro. They're just falling. No. Zeke was the last one that I remember. No, Saquon.
Yeah.
That they got pushed up, and they haven't proved very well of drafting that high. It's a position that just gets beat on. So I don't know, but they deserve the money.
And they have you guys picking a receiver, which you don't want right now, but you could see happening.
Yeah.
Definitely a need there.
Yeah.
Put him with D-Hop. It's pretty nasty, you know.
Yeah.
You have a lot of pieces around him, and
my thing is like. The guy that they have us drafting on the mock draft that we were looking at is a guy from Penn State. He's a speedster. So if we draft a receiver, it's got to be a big guy because Moore is going to be our slot.
Yeah.
You know, Isabella wants out because they're kind of the same player.
Yeah.
We need another big guy that's going to stretch the defense on the outside, or somebody can go up and get the ball. Julio Jones. We don't need to spend a draft pick on Julio Jones, but you know, that's who we get. That's who we get. I don't like Penn State, so I hope we don't get a Penn State player.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm going to say. So this is going to take us a wrap. We went over this real quick, but the most exciting part is we're going to bring Shank on.
Yep.
It's going to be our first time we bring somebody in from Pittsburgh or somewhere else, digital. Our subpar engineer, Josh, you can figure that out for us? Yeah. We'll have him on here with us. You'll be able to see him. We'll be able to see him. We're going to meet next week, and we're going to talk about how this draft pans out. Yep. We'll do it in a couple different segments. We'll break down the teams. We'll do it in a couple small segments, and we'll release it in 3 parts so it doesn't take up too much of your day. But just give a real quick preview here, getting some of our stuff out, talking. Obviously, he's a Cardinals fan. I'm a Steelers fan. We know that. Josh is a fan of the top Magic player in the world, so he can care less. He says, I love it when they hit a home run in football, and that's why we appreciate it.
Yeah, go New Orleans Magic.
Yes, so he's the man. He loves it. He's a yay. I love rooting for the Oakland Bulls.
Oh man, the Pittsburgh LARPers, go.
Yeah. Hey, who is the #1 rated LARPer in the world?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, you look into that for next show. Yeah. We're gonna have to ask you that question.
I heard LARPing gets extreme, my guy.
It does, super extreme, extreme.
Filled donuts. They're the best.
Yeah.
So I'm the collector.
I'm the coach. We're out. We'll see you next week when we have our special guest, Shank. Often imitated, never perfected, never copied correctly. This guy's been on the news with KDKA. We're going to have a special segment, What Would Coach Tomlin Say? Because he is the king of the Tomlinisms. Nice. He's going to answer all of our questions in Mike Tomlin interview format.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
So stay tuned for that. And listen, man, get on board.
Yep.
Deez Sports Nuts.
We're out. Like, subscribe, share.
We're out.